Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd with Bish's RV down here at Grand Design today with what I think is my personal favorite member of their new Imagine AIM series. I got to see the original prototype when I did my 2023 flyby preview video, and they cranked this thing up to 11. I loved it how it was. It's even more awesomer now. So the thing is, like, I could see this working as a solo model, a couples model, a small family model, somebody with a dog or a cat. Like, this is a really flexible floor plan, and they have completely, well, reimagined the dining situation. And I have seen so many people wanting exactly what they've done here. Instead of a booth, instead of a dino for sofa, can you give us like a bar with some chairs or something overlooking windows on the campsite of the RV? You can have your whole family, assuming family of 4 or less, you can have your family sitting there overlooking your campsite, enjoying your breakfast in the morning, but at the same time having, like, if you're indoors, you hear somebody outside, you can keep an eye on your campsite. It is so hard to find small RVs, or a lot of RVs, frankly, with good campsite window coverage, and this gives you a giant picture window overlooking your site with a blackout roller shade if you want to blot out the sun. Good patio awning space for an RV this size, and it tops out about 5,500 pounds, so kind of plan your tow capacities around that. Higher going to be better. This is one of the heavier of the Imagine AIM series. I think it's probably per capita about the biggest, but what they've done with this, like, they put the full big Imagine full front bedroom and Murphy bed in this, that just gives you some crazy good storage around it. And the total storage in this is fantastic. The huge closet space, the dresser space, so many small bunkhouses have no place to keep clothes or food. This solves all those problems, and it solves problems you didn't even realize other little campers have. I think this thing is awesome. I'd love to hear from you. Where did they nail it? Where did they fail it? What's the one thing you'd change? And what do you think about this overall? Because I think it's a winner, baby.
And if you appreciate how we, take the time to get away from the store to get down here to get you this footage, hit that subscribe button. And again, thank you to Grand Design for setting up things here in the factory, one of their production facilities anyway, to make this happen. It's definitely got a lot of the HOA browns in here. It is more in a neutral middle brown. It doesn't feel too dark and oppressive. A lot of that is because they really went whole hog with a very aggressive lighting package in here. And it's an interesting kitchen slide kind of RV, which opened up the door side of the camper to, be able to give you that interesting little destination dining desk arrangement sort of thing. Now, you might notice a little bit different cooking situation, which in a small camper, I think this is a great idea. I like this as a Midwestern boy, but maybe not everybody. I'm open to hear what you folks think. 2-burner stovetop with a little bit of space on each side for your pots and pans handles. I swear, so many RV designers have never spent a single day actually using an RV. Sometimes they'll put a stovetop inside a little cubby like that with absolutely no room to twist your pot and pan handles. It just don't work. Sometimes it just don't work. This one I think works really, really well. And that is a convection microwave oven down there next to that 6.3 cubic foot, 12 volt DC compressor fridge. So that is a full-size fridge in a slimline profile, very similar to what you might find in a lot of like Class B camper vans. It's very interesting how you're starting to see a lot of those, hashtag van life kind of concepts working their way into the more common towable industry. Now, the first time I saw this, it was similar, but it was not full maximized window like they did here. I really like how, in a smaller space, we've got this big, giant, straight off the campsite of your RV, so you're not looking at the sweaty, shirtless neighbor right here. And this countertop, you've got those household and USB outlets down there. You've got this full, big buffet serving station, basically. And you know what? It doesn't have traditional chairs. I think this is a small RV, though. You're going to spend a lot of time outside. If you are going to spend a little time inside, it's probably for sleeping, bathing, or eating. And this RV does that really well, and it brings just a massive amount of storage to the equation. I want to actually sit down at the Murphy sofa here, though. If you are inside for an extended time, that would kind of be your angle at the entertainment. Although, a lot of kids on a rainy day will entertain themselves with their devices either in the bunk or over here. My daughter, I could see her slapping on her Bluetooth headphones and just enjoying a little bit of rainy daytime in the RV, if that is what happened and where we, kind of got caught. Now, up here in the ceiling, they include a little vented fan. Now, part of that is due to the fact that the stovetop, while it has a vent hood, it's basically a charcoal filter designed to get the smells out of the RV while you're cooking. It doesn't actually exhaust heat. That's what that ceiling vent is. So that is probably an upgrade that I would apply. If I bought this, I would get a bigger vent fan right there. And the variety that works really well for my dollar is called Hangs, their Vortex fan series. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, it is the least expensive, I personally feel, pound for pound best way to get a big vent fan in a small camper. Now this has the full big Imagine Murphy bed, and I did have to flip into wide angle mode a little bit here, but to show you how this works, it is what I call a bendy bed, but that does mean maximum storage. Now I've previously called this a Camp Queen. It's technically that's correct because it's not a true queen, but it's 78 inches long. And what I noticed when I put my feet flat against the front wall and laid down, my head was still just on the mattress. And I am just a little bit over 6 foot myself. That whole setup, though, it still has those headboard power pockets. You've got the dual dresser drawers on both sides with your hanging closets. This RV has more personal storage and kitchen storage than almost any other single axle RV I think I've ever seen. Barring maybe some other members of the Imagine AIM series. They've done an absolutely fantastic job of letting you tow smaller and camp large, This is a small RV with full-size features. I think it's one of the best ways that I can kind of describe this one right here. Now, that closet over there next to the television, that could be pantry. That could be dresser drawer storage. That shelf in the top section removes if you need more hanging storage for whoever's in the bunk space. Or you could just really pack them, rack them, and stack them with all kinds of storage and cargo in this thing. This is going to be something that sleeps up to 4, since it doesn't have a dinette sleeper, but frankly, dinette sleepers are not really that great regardless. Instead you've got the dual bunk sleepers over here, still including those blackout roller shades, mind you, which I think is a nice feature. What I haven't done is peeked up here around the corner. Yes! Yes! Not only do we have lights for each bunk, we have USB outlets there. Let's see if they repeated that down here in the lower bunk. I got a feeling they did, because these have been pretty well detailed. They did! Yes! Once again, on a rainy day or overnight, giving everybody the ability to charge their devices, that, for me, is very, very cool. By the way, if you're like, well, where's the ladder? A lot of RVs don't come with bunk ladders, but that's an easy thing that we have on our shelf. That's just a simple thing that we can help you accomplish if need be. Rockwood's a brand that's very good about including ladders. Taking a look up here at the storage in that medicine cabinet and that cool little folding sink. So you do have a dedicated sink to not have to wash your bathroom hands in the kitchen, which is kind of cool. Or, you can brush your teeth here and not brush your teeth in the kitchen and have the kids going spitting all over. Now, I know that when I was a kid, I did that power kind of spit. And now I know why my daughter comes by it so honestly. And while there's always toothpaste shrapnel all over the place, and I'm not trying to embarrass her. I did it. I think a lot of kids did. It's just one of those things you learn not to do once you got to start cleaning it. Now, this is 6.5 foot tall. I'm a little over 6 foot tall. You do have to step up into the shower pan, which is why my head doesn't fully fit in the shower area until I stick my head in the skylight. But that skylight is large enough that I never, when I was actually standing in it as though I were going to bathe, I never felt for a second like I was going to have any sort of problems, with headroom in there. It was adequate, and that small bathroom and a small camper, I think adequate is a major victory. Now, I like to take the time to show things in road mode with the slide closed up. Overall, still a very functional RV. However, the sofa cannot roll over. It won't clear the slide fascia. This was made to be as short and light and reasonable as possible while still giving us great destination space. That does mean that the Murphy bed will not be accessible and operational in transit. However, if you need to stop, get into the fridge. If you need to get over to that sink, if maybe you'll use the bunks for sleeping in transit. I don't know. Or if you just need to stop, grab a sandwich, get to the bathroom, you can collaborate and listen and, find out that ICE was back with a brand new invention. This thing, it's going to be good for travel stops, maybe okay for travel stayovers.
Now, as I mentioned when we first began this little adventure, this thing does come in and top out about 5,500 pounds. That being said, if you have a 5,500 pound rated tow vehicle, yeah, technically it's within that rating. But just because if my life depended on it, I could deadlift several hundred pounds, doesn't mean I want to do that constantly every day. So ask yourself, do you think your vehicle would constantly want to tow its absolute maximum capacity every day? That is a question I think most people go, oh yeah, no, definitely not. You know, they turn into Rain Man when that happens. Awesome movie, by the way. It introduced me as a young age to card counting, which is a skill I actually never really later ended up developing. But never mind that. Now you saw where it said inverter prep. You see that little black box right there? That is TPMS prep over here next to that simplified but enclosed docking center. Those are things that you can get all bundled together in what is called the AIM package. TPMS rear camera with monitor, a 2,000 watt inverter wired to every single thing in the RV. It can turn on the air conditioner's fan, but not the actual air conditioner compressor, so it won't cool the RV, it can just move air. That package also includes a couple other things like an additional 200 watt solar panel for 400 watts total, and knobby tires for folks who just like that kind of look, even though they're still 15 inch. They're not actually bigger than what these are. They just kind of maybe look cool for some people. I do like, you know, just all the big Imagine things like double propane tanks. That's the kind of stuff a lot of single axles don't have. Being a full 8-foot body, you will kind of want to keep that in mind. Like if someone's got a tow package mid-size pickup, Tacoma Ranger, Colorado, something like that, you know, this could be an absolutely awesome fit where you don't have to feel like you sacrificed because you have a smaller vehicle. You can still get those bigger things. By the way, those knobby tires I mentioned, you can get those as a standalone option, but everything else in that AIM package is kind of a bundle. Although, with this always being inverter prepped, and with you always being able to add an additional solar panel or TPMS or the backup camera, you can effectively piecewise that AIM package very easily. But from the factory level, the knobby tires are the only standalone option because everything else is a very simple, widget whiz-bang parts counter visit at your local dealership. Would love it if it was Bish's RV. I would love it if you gave our team a chance to work with you. But I get that we're not in every neck of the woods, and I get that a lot of people watch these videos who don't buy from us. I'm perfectly fine with that. All I ask is that you do give us a fair shake at working with you if we are in your neighborhood, or who knows, maybe with shipping we can make something work. Short of that, if nothing else, just leave a little like on the video if you appreciate the efforts that we're giving you here. Little high pressure water sprayer back here, cold water sprayer port, not a full outside shower, but can get a lot of the general work done. That is a 150 pound rated receiver hitch on the back. And you might notice, pardon, no bumper. The RV does have a sewer hose caddy tube already mounted underneath. So it doesn't have a bumper, but you do still have a place where you can store a sewer hose going down the road. So you don't have to put it like in a tote in the camper if that's, if that jelly ain't your jam. Now this does have a single sewer outlet, and with this riding a little bit higher in that bigger axle package, it does raise the back end of that. You might notice how some RVs have these metallic triangles that stick down on the back. This doesn't have that. That's called the scrub line. Basically what they're doing is if you drew a line from the lowest point on this to the tires, anything hanging below that would scrub the ground. Well, you don't have to worry about your sewer connection scrubbing on the ground on this one. And below the bunks, next to that tankless on-demand water heater, just another big chunk of storage with more motion-activated lighting. The overall size of this, once again, I think is just an easy, good fit for like a tow package mid-size pickup or a more capable tow package SUV. If you had a half-ton, I'm sure it would haul this thing all over the place. I don't think you necessarily have to go quite that far. Now, given you look up there at that fully walkable roof, they are kind enough to include a ladder from the factory for that. You see the factory standard 200 watts of Go Power solar. That solar package on this is slightly different from the rest of the Imagine series. I think more of the Imagine series will start to adopt the standards on this one over time, though. You see, they still included that roof attic vent that small campers almost never do. This is a really rare find, I think, and it's a more premium-ish kind of fit trim package in a small camper body. Usually when you start getting small, you start seeing cheap, and the word chintz starts to almost kind of come into the equation. I really think what they did here is they just made it smaller without cutting corners. And they're even starting to use Asdel in the walls of these now. The outer layer directly below the fiberglass is Asdel currently. The interior wall board is still a Luan panel, but I think it is interesting to see Grand Design start to dip their toes in the Asdel pond. Do you think they should expand the use of that further through their lineup, or are you good if they don't? Let me know. Leave me a message. Now, normally I like to leave you a link for things that are similar, but the problem is this is a Unicornosaurus Rex. I've never really seen something else I would say really stands up to it. They have carved out their own little space here. In an industry segment that has zero originality, they've come out completely original, I think, and just massive credit to the Grand Design team. Now, maybe I'm a little bit blinded by the fact that I see the same thing all day, every day, so when I do see something a little different, I just really start going bananas over that thing. Am I just on my roids over here, or is this thing great, or is it great, or as they would say across the pond, is it just pants? Or rubbish, as it were. Let me know. I'll leave you a link to check availability. It is a new model. Most haven't started even rolling out yet. There are a few that are out there, but Grand Design does not allow us to publish pricing on our website. I do apologize for that. You'll find our other units we do wherever we could. This is just one case where I reluctantly advise you do need to call or contact or email or whatever our team to get pricing on it. Not the way we'd prefer to do it, but we do play by the rules at Bish's RV. We also don't do hidden dealer fees, so there's that. When you're ready, we're ready, though. In the meantime, let me know what you think about this. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.